If you are an estate agent thinking of setting up your own business, one of the things that you certainly could do is buy a franchise or a license in a brand. And the Fine and Country network is one option, be it either as a license as an existing agent, or they've now done an associate model. And today I'm joined by Jonathan Handford, who is both a Fine and Country license holder, but also a non-executive director. And I want to ask you today, Jonathan, what makes Fine and Country so good? Talk to me.
So the attraction to Fine and Country for myself, obviously it's a phenomenal brand which many people recognise, but it's the people behind the brand that is the thing that stands out. Very passionate, dedicated individuals that are at the cutting edge of innovation in terms of trying to improve the industry. And I think if you are trying to get into the prime or the upper quartile market, it's the perfect conduit, it's the perfect vehicle for making that happen, and then also for delivering upon what the client, what the customer, and what the property warrants and needs. I'm one of those rare individuals that's very proud to say that I'm an estate agent at a dinner party. I'm even more proud to be able to say that it's Fine and Country that I work with. And that's the business has that sort of gravitas and that prestige.
I've been looking at some stats, and certainly in the upper quartile, certainly over the £1 million range in the last year, Fine and Country have seen their market share grow significantly, and that's not off a low base either, so well done. But if you don't mind me asking, if you go around the country, there are some Fine and Countries who really are pulling trees up, and there are some who are totally atrocious.
I think the person, there's two things here. You've got the brand and then you've got the person, and both of them need to work together in order to be able to make it work. So, I don't think any brand is a silver bullet solution to a problem, because it depends who's firing the gun and which direction they're firing it in terms of how successful they will be. And also, there are some people that are at the start of their journey that are building their presence and their market share, and they're laying the foundations for a successful future. But yeah, I think it's a lot of it is down to the individuals. It's down to
What
the
does
people.
good? Okay, and again, whether you've got a license, which means you have a territory, or an associate model where you can go free reign, what are the skill sets and attitudes that the good ones have that the other ones don't have?
I think the successful clues that you see from the people that do well, they're the ones that are committed. They invest in training and development and learning. You can have the tools in your war chest and have them at your disposal, but if you're not taking them to battle, they're not going to serve you very well. And that's quite often a common denominator. Just having access to them. And the other thing, there's a great thing I remember learning within my training. Just because you know the rules to a sport, it doesn't make you an international athlete. You've got to live and breathe it in order to be able to be successful.
I mean, you do some boot camps which help existing franchisees and license holders and associates grow. Again, distill down some basic things, the core stuff that they should be doing. That, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you've got Fine and Country over the door or not. They're all skills that people should use. What do we do? I mean, you said earlier on in a previous video, you can never stop prospecting. Why are estate agents so bad at prospecting? What's your advice on that?
So look, I'm sure in terms of prospecting specifically, you'll say it's the fear of rejection. Some will say that they haven't got the time.
Piss poor excuse.
Yeah, it's a piss poor excuse. Some just don't see the value in it. Some are inherently lazy and just expect the phone to ring and expect the world to do them a favour.
Order takers, pizza order takers.
Yeah, they've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder and kind of expect things to fall into their lap. I think it was Margaret Thatcher that said pennies don't fall from heaven, they're earned down here on earth. And actually, if you haven't got the market appraisals, so I remember my first week as an agent in the industry completely. It was at Connells in Kenilworth, and we had no properties, empty window display. Phone wasn't ringing, and I just wasn't going to sit there doing nothing. So we ordered some Kenilworth Castle picture leaflets with free market appraisal. and I literally foot stomped every street in the whole of Kenilworth. I put a leaflet through every single door, got familiar with all of the streets and the locations, and all of a sudden we had a glut of market appraisals. I was going to sit on my hands for a week, not doing anything, expecting the phone to ring.
But surely that would have been, your manager should have told you to do that, or were they not?
We did it as a team exercise, but again, it doesn't matter where you are at your journey, whether you're employed, self-employed, whether you're an associate or whatever you are, if you haven't got any business, you've got to roll up your sleeves and go out and get some.
Okay, business generation. What else needs to be? How do you make your brand work for you?
You've got to be true to your brand. I think this is really important, especially, and I'll use Fine and Country as an example. You cannot deviate from what your brand is designed to accomplish. So if you cut corners and start taking instructions that aren't the right fit and profile, you are then going to compromise what you stand for. So I think that is really important. And the other thing is...
So culture and values.
Culture and values is important, and also business decisions. If you've got a certain way of advertising and marketing a property, but you're not living true to that every time that you put a house on the market, then you're going to sell yourself short in the long run, because people with properties similar to that want an agent that does a certain standard. If video is your standard profile of how you promote properties, you need to do it for every single property. As soon as you start cutting corners, it's going to cost you instructions. Might not necessarily cost you a sale on the one that you're working, but somebody that's got a similar property will think, well, I would have gone with F&C, but I'm not going to, because they're not doing the video marketing that I want and expect from my house.
Anything else?
No, I think, like I said, I feel very lucky to work with Fine and Country. I feel very privileged. I'm proud to be associated with it. So it was a career choice early on that served me incredibly well, and I'm excited for the future. What's going to happen further on down the line.
Just for the record, boys and girls in estate agency land, I've not been paid to do this video by either Jonathan or anyone in the Fine and Country or Nurture group. I am a massive fan of the brand and of Nurture and the people within it, and I consider all of them good friends. And Jonathan's here today to talk about some other things. I just thought we'd just do a quick video about what Fine and Country was about. Other models are available. Thanks for your time.
Brilliant, thank you.